Welcome to the second day of Disney Princess Week. For this entire week, I will be exploring the full stories of the first 7 Disney princesses by looking at their original tales, their background, and how they affected Disney and the world. The second Disney princess came about 12 years after audiences first witnessed Snow White. Her name was Cinderella. As one of the classic Disney princesses, Cinderella has become an icon not just for animation, but she has also been at the forefront of the Disney parks, often using her castle as the symbol for both companies. Cinderella is an inspiring tale, and through her sequels and a live-action remake, we've begun to get a clear picture of her full story. Hello, I'm Isaac from What's So Videos, where we discuss fun topics for fun people, and today I'm going to explain everything we know about Cinderella. If you are interested in checking out all of Cinderella's appearances, I have provided all of the links to her movies and the resources I used in the description. Continuing the golden age of the Walt Disney Studios, Cinderella tells the story of a girl going from rags to royalty because of her kindness and resilience. Cinderella was born to wealthy, happy, unnamed parents who treated their daughter with great love. The family resided in a French chateau, just beyond a small but powerful kingdom, and this is where Cinderella grew up. There were many wonderful moments, and her mother and father supported her in everything she did, seen in the 2015 Cinderella. Her mother also strongly believed Cinderella was a remarkable and loving girl and instilled the lesson to remain brave and be kind. But then, tragedy struck. Sometime during her childhood, Cinderella's mother tragically passed away, and as a result, believing his daughter needed a mother figure in her life, Cinderella's father remarried to a woman named Lady Tremaine, who had 2 daughters of her own, Anastasia and Drizella. In the 2015 version, Cinderella attempts to welcome her stepmother into her home and support her father, but her stepfamily does not return that courtesy. Tremaine and her daughters were cruel to Cinderella every chance they could, for they were jealous of her natural beauty and kindness. In the original story, Cinderella bore her stepfamily's abuse patiently and hid it from her father because he would have scolded her, for he was under the rule of his new wife. Then Cinderella's life swirls once again with the sudden death of her father. Now all alone with her stepfamily, Cinderella was now solely under the control of Lady Tremaine, whose true colors finally surfaced, showing how cruel and cold-hearted she could be. Cinderella was transformed from a resident of her estate to the sole servant as her parents' wealth was thrown away on her stepsisters. While pampering her own 2 daughters and spoiling them rotten, she raised Cinderella in abuse and virtual slavery. In the original story by Charles Perrault, Cinderella's real name was never revealed. Instead, we only know her oldest stepsister referred to her as Cinder Claude, due to the cinders that came from sitting in the corner of the chimney, while the younger stepsister gave her the name Cinderella, which is derived from the French word Cendrillon, which translates in English as Little Ash Girl. Some works like Disney's live-action remake and many storybooks, such as the Little Golden Books adaptation, did claim Cinderella's birth name was originally Ella, while the original Disney animation declared her birth name to be Cinderella. Her stepfamily were truly cruel to Cinderella, and this went on for many years, but her personality still remained sweet, humble, and kind. Despite being raised in toxicity and emotional abuse, Cinderella declared herself independent and strong-willed by remaining kind-hearted and self-loving, unlike her cruel stepfamily. With no people to interact with during her servant work, unlike the original Perrault story, Disney has included her to befriend the birds, mice, and farm animals in her home. Cinderella protects the animals she encounters, and for her kindness, they help her through her life. She always just makes the most of her misfortunes, remaining optimistic of the possibilities of a brighter future and believing one day she could achieve her dreams. Of course, Cinderella's primary goal is to one day live a life away from her stepfamily, but through years of emotional abuse and manipulation, Cinderella became obedient and attempted to avoid conflict with her stepmother and stepsisters, even when they create ridiculous requests. Although she doesn't possess the means or the confidence to break out of her home in her first film, Cinderella is not content with her life. In Cinderella's live-action movie, we see she has found ways to cope with her frustration. One way being riding horses in the countryside. On one of the days she is upset, Cinderella encounters a nice man named Kit, who's actually the prince. She's frequently seen acting witty and sarcastic, at least when she is alone, making quips about her stepfamily,
Oh, now what do they want?
and stands up for herself when she knows for certain she is right.
Means I can go too. After all, I'm still a member of the family. And it says, by royal command, every eligible maiden is to attend.
For 2015 Cinderella, she hopes to go to meet Kit again, but in other versions, it's just so she can live a dream-filled moment just for a night. Cinderella is determined to go to the ball, retrieving her mother's dress and excitedly awaiting her chance to meet the prince. But her stepmother and stepsisters destroy her dress and proclaim she cannot go. In one of her darkest hours, Cinderella is finally given a chance when her fairy godmother appears. She arrives to give Cinderella a night to remember, creating a carriage and coachman out of a pumpkin and animals, and transforming her dress into a beautiful ball gown. This moment is said to be Walt Disney's favorite piece of animation ever, as it epitomizes his transformation to create a powerful and successful life. This iconic moment truly captures the magic of Disney animation. Not only did she get her dress though, of course Fairy Godmother also gave Cinderella gorgeous glass slippers, which are not only important to the plot, but also they carry a symbolic message. The glass slippers show Cinderella is a delicate woman since she does not break them as she walks, and that she can adapt to typically uncomfortable situations. Cinderella races to the ball and is immediately recognized by the prince. They dance the night away, learning about each other and falling in love. When the clock strikes 12, Cinderella must leave the prince while still being anonymous to escape before her magic wears off, leaving only a glass slipper behind. In the original story, instead of falling in love with the prince in one night, it was actually two. The prince had one ball where he met Cinderella during a dinner, and the next night he had a second ball in which he fell madly in love with her. Although Cinderella thought her magical night or nights would remain in the past, the prince was unable to forget about his encounter. He tracks her down, frees her from her home, and marries Cinderella. Now that she was freed, and was a princess, Cinderella begins to feel more confident and becomes more active in her life, seen in Cinderella 2, Dreams Come True, and Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time. In the second film, she struggles with the traditions and restrictions of being a royal, so she establishes some of her own. We also see her forgive Anastasia and help her find happiness with the baker. In the original story, the stepsisters both plead for forgiveness, and Cinderella also agrees. After years of being locked away, Cinderella is ready to spread joy to everyone she can. In Cinderella 3, Cinderella's hardworking ethics, optimism, and devotion are put to the test when she is magically stripped away from her happily ever after by a vengeful Tremaine who has stolen Fairy Godmother's wand. To restore her life with the prince, Cinderella must not lose hope, remain resourceful, and is seen to be cunning, tactical, and persistent. Even without magic, once she has felt freedom again, she is unwilling to allow Tremaine to take it away. Using intelligence and fearlessness, Cinderella is able to defeat her stepmother and retain her much-deserved life of happiness, proving both her independence and strong will. Other than the live-action recreation and the sequels, Cinderella appears all across Disney works. In Sophia the First, Cinderella is the first princess to be summoned by Sophia's amulet, and she explains how the amulet functions. In Once Upon a Time, Cinderella experiences the classic story with Prince Thomas, but when she is brought to Storybrooke, she is reduced to a single pregnant maid known as Ashley Boyd. She appears again in Season 7 as a new iteration of Cinderella as the lover to Henry. In Descendants, Cinderella is never actually seen, but we become familiar with her son in the series, Chad Charming. And of course, she's ubiquitous in the Disney parks. One of the largest complaints about the classic Disney princesses is their passive nature and their inability to react to the world around them. Instead of having goals and acting on them, they just allow others to push them in a direction that creates a happy ending. While I can see how Cinderella may appear to be this way at first, I don't think she is at all. Cinderella was emotionally abused for years, making her feel trapped and helpless. She didn't see a way she could escape her reality, but she kept hope alive. After Cinderella leaves her home, we see her changing her kingdom, helping those who hurt her, and standing up for herself by being resourceful and cunning. Cinderella is an iconic golden age princess who is loving and kind, but she is also strong and acts to create her happy ending. So now it's time for the question of the day, sponsored by my patrons. Who do you think the leader of the Disney princesses is? Some consider Cinderella to be the leader of the princesses, but this is a really controversial topic. Some feel Snow White is the leader because she was the first Disney princess, while others feel Cinderella should be because she is a more prominent character. Personally, I see Cinderella as a bridge between classic Disney princesses and modern ones, so although I love them both, I would probably choose Cinderella. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so let me know your ideas in the comment section, along with any other ideas you have for future Discovering Disney episodes. I have many more princess videos coming to you this week, so if you'd like to stay up to date with new magical videos, then click that subscribe button and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. To see more Watso videos, then check out some awesome pics over there. And as always, thanks for watching and have a magical day.